My name's Stephen USSR Robinson, and thank you for watching Sporting Icons.
So Kubrat Pulev, the IBF mandatory for Anthony Joshua. In fact, Kubrat Pulev is an absolute superstar in Bulgaria, believe it or not. He's like the Joshua, the David Beckham, the LeBron James of Bulgaria. He's the absolute poster boy in Bulgaria. Either way, he's meant to be taking on Anthony Joshua. Of course, we're still waiting for official confirmation of date and venue. And Kubrat Pulev is, of course, co-promoted by Bob Arum. Again, before we go too much further, have you noticed how Bob Arum, he's quite pushy when it comes to, well, Tyson Fury shouldn't have to fight his mandatory in Dillian White, should Fury get past Wilder and should White get past Povetkin, of course, but Fury shouldn't have to fight his mandatory in Dillian White, but he ain't saying nothing about Anthony Joshua shouldn't have to take on his mandatory in Kubrat Pulev. How weird is that, right? Anyway, Kubrat Pulev, he said that Anthony Joshua is arrogant for overlooking him and talking about an undisputed fight with Tyson Fury. Now, Kubrat Pulev, in fact, we haven't really heard him being so vocal ever since he signed up to fight Anthony Joshua. In fact, he's a very humble, quiet guy, keeps himself to himself, unless, of course, he's been interviewed by female reporters. But outside of that, he's not really a trash talker. But when it comes to Anthony Joshua, he's doing a lot of trash talking. Over the last few months, him and his managers and that, they've all been given a lot of trash talk. Why? I'm sensing fear. That's why. We've seen it historically. Kubrat Pulev has always avoided Anthony Joshua. He's had numerous opportunities to fight Anthony Joshua and never once did it. And no, we're not just talking about the time where he was mandated to fight Anthony Joshua and then pulled out through an injury and then replaced by Carlos Taka. And there were times before then when he was actually offered the fight with Anthony Joshua, but he decided to go the European heavyweight title route instead. Fact, not fiction. Now, is he right by saying that Anthony Joshua is arrogant for overlooking him by talking about a unification fight, undisputed fight with Tyson Fury? And you have to say, yes, he's right. And I'm pretty sure that Anthony Joshua has learned his lesson, as in don't overlook anybody. Anything can happen on any given night. Kubrat Pulev was a fantastic kickboxer back in the days. He was an excellent amateur as well for boxing. And so far, he's always been in the top 10, continuously ranked in the top 10 of boxing for a great number of years. Of course, I mean, he's only got one loss on his resume, which was to a informed, primed Vladimir Klitschko. Okay, but Pulev, he's never really been one for risking his position. If you look at his resume, it's not stacked full of top contenders. In fact, his best wins, you could probably argue, may have been, say, Derek Chisora or more recently Hughie Fury. Outside of that, he only really fights journeymen and gatekeepers. That's what he does. He sits on his position, and that's how he gets his opportunities. But he's still a very dangerous, very credible opponent. And I know people want to say, but he's old, Anthony Joshua taking on an old Pulev. Well, first of all, that's got nothing to do with Joshua. It's either fight Pulev or lose the IBF belt. Which one are you going to do? But again, the same people, they weren't saying that when Hughie Fury took on Kubrat Pulev, were they? They weren't saying that when the age gap is much wider, right? But just because Anthony Joshua, suddenly Kubrat Pulev is old, he's past it, he's no good. But what does that say about Hughie Fury then, right? Just think about it. Now, I think that Kubrat Pulev, he is correct. I think he is speaking a lot of sense, where you shouldn't be overlooking Kubrat Pulev. Joshua shouldn't be overlooking anybody, much like Tyson Fury shouldn't be overlooking Wilder. He shouldn't be overlooking Dillian White. It shouldn't be happening, okay? You should be concentrating on what is next. What might be down the line can wait. And as we know, Eddie Hearn and Tim Fury have been talking about a fight for Undisputed between Joshua and Fury. Or maybe not for Undisputed, either way, a fight nonetheless for mid to late summer. Now, that's all well and good, but have you noticed how they haven't been negotiating with Deontay Wilder about Undisputed with Joshua, just in case he beats Fury? They haven't spoken to Dillian White just in case he beats Tyson Fury. They haven't spoken to Kubrat Pulev about in case he beats Anthony Joshua, they can fight Tyson Fury for Undisputed. See, they haven't done all that. All they've done is spoke to Joshua and Fury. So it's not just Pulev that's being overlooked. Everybody else is being overlooked. Now, will it be a case of that Joshua, is he going to end up having to face Pulev and Usyk? to get to the Undisputed fight with say, Fury, for example? And is he going to get past Wilder and White to get through to the Undisputed? Both of these guys have very, very tough gauntlets to get through. Both of these guys could lose to any one of these fights. Truthfully, they could. It's heavyweight boxing, okay? So, yes, I think that Kubrat Pulev, he is right that Anthony Joshua, he shouldn't be overlooking him. Arrogant is not the right word, but we know what Pulev is. Pulev seems to be a little bit angry lately. I think he's angry because he knows he's going to get absolutely destroyed by Anthony Joshua, and he's worried about it. So I think that's what it is, in all honesty. But of course, he is talking a lot of sense. Joshua should not be overlooking Kubrat Pulev. Joshua should not be overlooking anybody. In fact, no fighter should overlook anyone. White should not be overlooking Povetkin thinking about a Tyson Fury fight. Okay, so there's so many different things. Heavyweight boxing, one punch changes everything. I know I've said it numerous times, but that is the bare crux of it, isn't it? That's exactly how it is. So, yeah, I think Kubrat Pulev is correct. But is Joshua really overlooking him? I don't think so. I really don't think so. He's learned his lesson for overlooking opponents. Look at what happened with Andy Ruiz Jr. When he's switched on, when he's motivated, when he's not overlooking someone, he's very, very dangerous and very, very difficult to beat. So if he's got his eyes fully set on Kubrat Pulev is in for a world of pain whenever it is that they fight, which hopefully soon is going to fight over and done with. If necessary, behind closed doors, the pay-per-views are going to do quite well anyway. Who really needs a crowd? Do you really need that extra couple of million on top of the multi-millions you've already got? Who knows? Anyway, drop your thoughts below, click thumbs up, subscribe, catch you all in the next video.